Greetings, friendos, and welcome back to the Oxlayer. So, in keeping with the basic theme of this Oxtoberfest, being the one and only R.L. Stine written classic children's book series, today we're going to be taking a look at yet another item in the pantheon of Goosebumps merchandise. Yes, this one was another, we'll say, oddball piece. This was a fast food premium. And if you'd like to see another video on that kind of a topic, take a look right here to take a look at the video I did on the Taco Bell toys from that same era. But for today, not just going to any fast food place. Oh, no. We're going to a pizza place. Now, with that in mind, let me just, by the powers that be and the powers of the internet, take a look at this piece of nostalgia, this commercial advertising these things, and you'll get just a little taste of just how phenomenal, how huge Goosebumps was back in the day. And roll it!
It's the Pizza Head Show!
Hey everybody! I'm on my way to Pizza Hut to get a Goosebumps Kids Pack! Yay!
Almost there!
Hey, this isn't the right way!
Well, Scarecrow Steve says it is.
He's no Scarecrow!
Sure he is!
Uh-oh, I think I woke the neighbors!
Look, Pizza Head, you'll be perfectly safe in there.
Okay.
Relax, the Goosebumps guys just want you for dinner. See you in the next lifetime. Now you can collect one of 3 ghoulish Goosebumps Glow and Tell story card sets when you buy a Pizza Hut Kids Pack.
Pretty campy, wouldn't you say? Personally, I miss those Pizza Head commercials. They were basically the children's equivalent of those Mr. Bill cartoons that were on, I want to say, Saturday Night Live back at that point in time. That might have been something different, but I believe it was Saturday Night Live. But it was basically just that exact formula. It was exactly that same formula, now that I think about it. Just, you know, with a slice of pizza and aimed at a more general audience than Mr. Bill. All they were missing was the, oh no! Whenever Pizza Head got thrown into a horrible situation. With that said, also my apologies to all of my headphone wearing users. I just had to do it. I don't ever get to do that. And just, well, the opportunity was there, I just went for it. Sorry. Anyways, on that note, we're going to be taking a look at, as advertised in that little commercial there, the Goosebumps Glow and Tell cards, which also doubled as a bit of a board game. Now, with these things, there were 3 separate sets that you could get back in the day. One featuring the secondary Goosebumps mascot behind Slappy, Curly the Skeleton. One which I do not currently own yet, which featured the Abominable Snowman of Pasadena, photo incoming. And then there was a third set, which involved the Scarecrow from the book The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. Now, as I just stated, I unfortunately don't have the complete set of these. As a matter of fact, I'm lucky to have this set. I found it at a convention a few years ago. I think I mentioned it in that particular video. If I can find it, the link will be right there. But I found a bunch of nice random things at that particular convention, and these just so happens to be one of them. So, y'all may be wondering how one could take Goosebumps and turn it into a set of cards, and yet these cards don't look like cards, they look like bookmarks, and how you could use these bookmark type cards as a board game. It's a little confusing, I will admit that myself, but to kind of help you get the basic gist of it, we're going to take a look at the directions, the rule set from pack number 1 featuring Curly the Skeleton. So according to this, gather your fiendish friends to read these creepy tales. Then add your own eerie endings. Project the scary shapes on any dark wall with a flashlight to illustrate your tales with ghostly floating images. then play the Goosebumps Boneyard board game. So to not demonstrate, to inform you as to what it means by showing the eerie shapes on the walls. With certain pieces of these, there is a spot where you can punch out a shape. On this current one I'm holding here, there you go, you can just make out that there's a bat shape there. What you were supposed to do is punch out that piece of cardboard, and then you would grab your flashlight. I thought I had one on hand, apparently I don't. But you would grab your flashlight and shine it through that hole, and you could be like, "Ooh, there's a bat on the wall," and your friends could go, "Shut up, Chuck, what's the next part?" Anyways, there was that little feature, and on other ones, there was a glow-in-the-dark kind of feature. Like this one, I don't know how well it'll show up on the camera, but it's a bowl of worms. Let me just see. Hopefully you all can kind of see it. If not, editing me, throw in a picture of this thing all lit up in the dark and glowing its heart out. See, that's what this is supposed to, that's what's supposed to be right up there. But anyways, so what you're supposed to do with these, as stated, is you're supposed to read the story that's placed on each of these, and then you come up with your own ghoulish ending. So on that note, let's check out the back of this thing for the Boneyard game instructions. Actually, no, we're going to hold off on that. We're going to focus on the story aspect of these things. So, as stated, there were 3 different sets of these, and according to the paper here, there are supposed to be 5 each. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I guess this counts as the 5th one, though there's no story written on it. What you're supposed to do, like I just said, I think this is the 3rd time, I need to stop talking in circles, is you read these and you come up with your own ending. Also, you got your own little bit of curly hair. Yuck, 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 ha ha ha, goosebumps, 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 ha 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 ha, aren't I just so clever, yeah, 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 yeah. So, for Curly, you get 4 different story prompts. The first one being, up at bat. Curly's friend Tim is batty for bats. That's why they like to snuggle with him whenever he visits Curly. One time, the bats seemed a little too friendly. Tim felt a little peck on the neck, and suddenly noticed he was very thirsty. And... ... the worm's turn. Once Curly was visiting a ghoul friend who was in grave danger as millions of hungry night crawlers wriggled up from underground and crawled all over them. That was bad, but what happened next was much worse. The worms began to... ... The hand stands alone. As Curly strolls through the cemetery, the plot thickens. A hideous hand claws its way out of a creepy crypt. Curly gasps in terror when he sees it isn't attached to an arm. It's attached to a... ... I've got a secret. Emphasis on I. Literally. E-Y-E-V-E. Got a secret. Curly isn't afraid of anything, except the creepy eyes of Dr. Glow. If you look into their shining light, you will discover Dr. Glow's horrible, hideous secret. He is really a... ... And as you can see, all the stories go in that vein. And for you, the audience's viewing pleasure, or listening pleasure, I'm actually going to read off all of these. Yes, I may not have the second set featuring the Abominable Snowman of Pasadena, but thanks to the powers that be of the internet, I was able to get the stories and that image I showed you earlier that would have been included with that set. So without further ado, here's the set from the Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. Rat-tat-tat. The Abominable Snowman lumbers into his cave for a late-night snack. He plunges his icy hand into his bag of trail mix and lets out a deep bellow. The bag is empty. Then a rat leaps out at him and flashes its sharp teeth. The snowman gasps when the rat starts to. The next in the set was Raven Lunatic. Once upon a midnight creepy, when the snowman couldn't sleep, he thought he'd heard a bird complaining somewhere in the night. 'Tis the rappin' raven making sounds and getting down and making sure no one in Pasadena sleeps tonight. That was a bit of a stretch, and I'm glad I got through that in one take. You don't know how many takes it took for the other ones, but it was more than one, I can assure you. The next in this set was Tremendous Terror. When the abominable snowman of Pasadena comes down from Alaska, he gets bored unless he's surfing. But when he tried to chop down a tree to make a surfboard, the tree fought back with life and limb. Now whenever someone walks past this particular tree... And the last in this set was Web of Dune, like a sand dune. While working on his tan, the abominable snowman saw that the snow melting from his shoulders held a big surprise. A fat, hairy spider. The big bad bug burrowed into the sand. The snowman reached his hands down into the sands to get the spider, but instead he got pulled down under the sand, where he saw... And for the Scarecrow Walks at Midnight set, those ones go as follows. Get the point? There's something afoot in the cornfield tonight. The field is moving, but there's no wind. The Scarecrow realizes that the ground is covered with scary scorpions. He decides to burn them out, but just as he raises a match to light a torch, he remembers what he's made of, and... unmasked. The Scarecrow isn't the only fright watchman working the midnight shift. There's another creepy creature wearing a hideous haunted mask. The Scarecrow crept up to the creature to reveal something even more hideous. It was the Evil Weavers. One midnight, the Scarecrow couldn't walk. He was tied to the stake by millions of sticky spiderwebs. That's the last straw, he crowed. But then he began to feel a tingle up on his cheek. He gasped when he saw what was crawling across his face. It was a... And the last one from his set, I'll Be Seeing You. As the Scarecrow kept watch over his own field of screams, he couldn't help feeling that someone, or something, was watching him. It turned out to be an owl. Who else? I should preface that I did not add that. That is literally part of the prompt. Anyways, I'm supposed to be the scary one, said the Scarecrow. Well, I have a scare for you, the owl said. Do you know who I really am? So as stated multiple times, you're supposed to fill in your own scary ending. So what we're going to do here today, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to pick 3, one of each of these, and I'm going to make my own scary ending. And then we're going to have them all strung up on screen together. And by on screen, I mean I'm going to just tell you what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what the stories are. I'm not even going to put any real thought into it. I'm just going to read the prompt and go. So with that said, give me just a couple of moments to get my thoughts together, to read through the prompts, and I'll be right back with the ones that I'm going to use. So, see you in a moment. Alrighty, we're back. Sorry if that took a little longer than you were expecting. It took me a bit longer than I was expecting. Some of these were some good prompts. The Scarecrow alone, I had 2 different ones I had to choose from, but I think I made the right choice for this. So I have my 3 different selections. Sorry, I thought I heard someone at the door. Anyway, I have my 3 separate selections ready to go. From the Curly set, I have The Hand Stands Alone. From the Abominable Snowman set, I chose Rat-Tat-Tat. And from the Scarecrow set, I chose Get the Point. So let's get right to it, and I'm just going to start off with The Hand Stands Alone. As Curly strolls through the cemetery, the plot thickens. A hideous hand claws its way out of a creepy crypt. Curly gasps in terror when he sees it isn't attached to an arm. It's attached to a bicycle! Oh, but not just any bicycle, my friends. This bicycle is a far distant third cousin, twice removed relative of Christine, the evil car from Clive Barker. As Curly watches in terror, the hand on the bicycle grabs the handlebar and it starts charging towards him, headlight ablazing and all. Okay, for Rat-Tat-Tat. The abominable snowman lumbers into his cave for a late-night snack. He plunges his icy hand into a bag of trail mix and lets out a deep bellow. The bag is empty. Then a rat leaps out at him and flashes its sharp, pointy teeth. The snowman gasps when the rat starts to hork and cough and gag, choking on something from the trail mix. The snowman takes hold of the rat, performing his own version of CPR, considering the rat is so much smaller than him, simply just pressing on the rat's belly every time it heaves, until out pops a grape. It wasn't a grape originally when it went in, but after being inside the rat for so long, the raisin rehydrated and caused it to choke. The rat is forever eternally grateful to the snowman for saving its life, and he goes on to become a house protector. Whenever vermin other than his own kind come into the cave, the rat sends his goons, his rat squad, out to defeat them and eat them. And from then on, the abominable snowman from Pasadena never had to worry about bugs in his cave ever again. The end. Okay, and now get to the point. There's something afoot in the cornfield tonight. The corn is moving, but there's no wind. The Scarecrow realizes that the ground is covered with scary scorpions. He decides to burn them out, but just as he raises a match to light his torch, he remembers what he's made of, and feeling like a complete and utter fool, throws the torch away from himself and waves the match until it goes out. He facepalms and stares up at the night sky for a moment going, "Am I really that much of a straw brain?" He looks down at the scorpions and then gets an idea. Considering the fact that he himself is not a living creature, that he is in fact just made of straw, he takes it upon himself to take the crossbeam from the wooden stick he was on and begins using that to mash all the scorpions into a writhing, gooey pulp. Calling in the other scarecrows, because if you've seen the episode and if you've read the book, you know there's more than just one scarecrow that walks at midnight, and they all start doing the same, crushing and pulping all the scorpions until there's nothing left but a gooey, writhing pile of mush beneath all the corn. As the scorpions' corpses fester, they become a great fertilizer for the corn, causing the farmer to have the best crop that he's ever had, and he gives thanks to the Scarecrow, not realizing that the Scarecrow himself actually did this, and the farmer goes on to live a wonderful, long, and happy life, keeping the Scarecrow and all of his cronies as live-on guests in the cornfield. The end? Like I said, I did not think about any of this before I started. That is literally just raining consciousness, just verbal diarrhea that just came up with those three stories. What do you all think? Let me know down in the comments section down below. With that said, let's move on to the third little thing that you're supposed to be able to do with these cards. The... what was it called again? The Boneyard board game. So obviously you get directions for that right here. The rules for this The equipment, you need 5 of the Glow and Tell cards. You need 3 bones for each player. You can use anything you like for your bones. You can add 1 special piece. You add 1 special piece that stands for you, and 1 die. Relax, it's just half of a pair of dice. I like that. The setup. Connect your Glow and Tell cards together, as shown in the diagram above, so that the character stands alone, and so does 1 splat. Stands alone. Okay, I did read that right. And so does 1 splat. Put the piece that represents you on the character. Oh, I get it. I was being dumb. Okay, this is the character that starts things off. You start here, and there is the splat from where you go. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so that the character stands alone, and so does the splat. So I'm guessing you would put it this way. You would start up here, and then you'd work your way down the character onto the board, as it were. Okay, the piece that represents you goes on that character, and you place 3 bones on the other ends. Your opponent should place their piece and an additional 3 bones on one of the other ends. The objective: to win the most bones in the Boneyard. Seems simple enough. How to play. On your turn, throw the die and move your piece that many spaces. Try to land on a space with bonies? Bonies. B-O-N-E-E-S. Try to land on a space with bonies, and I've lost my place. There we go. Interlocking splats count as 1 single space. You cannot pass over the same space twice in 1 move. When you pass through or land on a space with bones, take 1 bone away and keep it in your own pile. You don't have to land on a bone-occupied space by exact count to claim a bone. If you land on a space occupied by another player's piece, by exact count, take 1 bone from their pile. The game is over when there are no more bones in the Boneyard. And then it says at the bottom here, notice, when you get your next pack of Glow and Tell cards, connect those 5 cards to the first 5 cards and double the size of your Boneyard board game. When you get your 3rd pack of cards, connect them to the first 2 for the ultimate Boneyard board game, for 3 outrageous players. Make your own personal board game configurations. And I believe I already showed it, but I'll show it again, because I love the detailing of this. Though I won't show this one, this card's a bit bent, it might be a little hard to see like that. We'll choose the Scarecrow one. Down here at the bottom is basically what it wants you to do with your Boneyard pieces. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you do that. If I'm able to procure the 3rd pack by next Oktoberfest, I doubt it's going to be this year, but if and when I do, I'll piece this together, and I and a friend will go ahead and actually demonstrate this game for you all. And we'll show you basically how it's done, or our basic interpretation of these cockamamie rules. With that said, however, I think we're just going to go ahead and wrap up this episode, because I'm not sure what else to do with this one. So, with that said, ladies, gentlemen, boys, ghouls, and all other monstrous machinations of being, if you like what you've seen here today, please click on that little pumpkin that just popped up over here, I believe, or over there. Whichever way he went, poke him, and you will be subscribed to my channel, and you'll be able to see all future content that gets uploaded here. Also, one more thing I should remind everyone about. The Oktoberfest usually only lasts through October, although this year it's looking like we're actually going to go into some extra innings, go a little bit into November, because we've still got 4 more of the Goosebumps book versus episode reviews to do, and there's not enough Fridays in the month for that. So at the very least, I think I'm going to be able to get out the Werewolf of Fever Swamp before the end of the month. along with the Haunted Mask 2. Welcome to Dead House and Night of the Living Dummy 3. Those ones might drop in November, so stay tuned. When I know, you will know. Also, another thing that I should say right now in regards to that series, I'm sorry for the quality of the last couple of episodes, especially that first one. I didn't realize it was that bad until I actually went back and looked at it. I don't know what I was thinking posting that in that state. That was hard to sit through. And I'm the one who made it. But going forward, the next 4 should be better than the last few. And another thing I should say right now, for those who've actually watched the Night in Terror Tower episode, if it seemed like it was really chopped up and kinda hard to follow, that's because all 3 of those videos, the Haunted Mask, the Stay Out of the Basement, and A Night in Terror Tower, have all been copyright claimed by a company called 9 Story Ireland, or Ireland, however I want to pronounce that. So I've been trying my best to work around that, to try and get it to where I don't get copyright claimed, which is the reason why A Night in Terror Tower seemed so jumbled and chopped up. I was doing everything I could to make sure that didn't get copyright claimed, and it got claimed anyway. Even though the clip that it claims that got copyright claimed, I chopped out chunks of that as well, so it wouldn't. They still just went, yeah, no, that's ours. That right there, that's ours. And they claimed it. So, just bear with me. I'm trying my best, ladies and gentlemen. I know I shouldn't really worry about the copyright claiming thing, but I should at the same time. I shouldn't because I'm not monetized yet, I'm not getting paid for them. But at the same time, at some point, I don't want the company behind the claim to go, you know, on second thought, that's not a claim, that's a strike. Because for those who don't know, with the YouTube system, it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out in the old YouTube game. If you get 3 copyright strikes, you're out. And apparently they've updated the changes so that once you're gone, you can't make another channel. So I'm trying very hard to avoid that. I want to get out decent quality content to you all, stuff that I myself would want to watch, that I hope you would want to watch. But it's hard when you're using copyrighted content. I know there's the whole, if it's being used for commentary purposes, that age-old rule from the 70s, I think. Editing me, look it up and put it on the screen somewhere, whatever that's called. I know there's that's been set in place so that people can do this kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's hard to make sure that you actually meet the prerequisites to actually have your content fall under that. Fair use, that's the one. It's hard to get your content to fall under fair use. At least it was for me, so far. I don't know what it is, but last year, those videos I put out last year, the Alpha's Magical Christmas around Oxmas, and the Ketchup Vampires review, neither of those got copyright claimed, and there were clips from both of those shows all over the place. Longer clips than this, parts where I wasn't even talking over them, and they didn't care. Saban Home Entertainment, they didn't care about the Alpha one. FHE, they didn't give a crap about the Ketchup Vampires, but Goosebumps apparently, oh, that one's the big one. I kind of understand it because Goosebumps is still a valid property to this day. The Power Rangers one, I don't quite understand as much because, you know, Power Rangers, I think they're still a big thing. I mean, they're still putting out merchandise and stuff, so I'm guessing Power Rangers is still a valid property, but for goodness sakes, it gets frustrating and old really fast trying to get this content out and having all these other companies go, nope, 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 can't do that, nope, that's mine. Anyways, enough of my ranting. Sorry about that rant. This is just something that's been bugging me for the last month. Anyways, I'm going to try my best to get these episodes out in a timely fashion, because there are other projects I also want to work on moving forward. And I haven't even gotten started on working on the Oxmas videos, which, it makes sense, it's October, I shouldn't be worrying about them yet, but I have to get recording on those so they're ready and raring to go by December. Or at least late November. No, if I post 3 videos a week, there's only 4 weeks in a month, so yeah, I can do the 12 vids of Oxmas. I'm getting very technical with you all. To those of you who are still sticking around for me just running my job, congratulations, thank you very much. I appreciate you, especially you, the one right there. Yes, you with the face. I appreciate you the most. Good job. But anyway, thank you all so much for sticking around. I'm sorry for the rant and the rambling, but every once in a while, every creator needs to ramble and rant to their audience, and this is mine. So, again, thank you all so very much for sticking around. This is your old buddy October saying, and of course I don't have a joke for this. I'm not in a very jokey mood right now. Okay, here we go. Oktoberfest saying, why don't skeletons play music in church? Because they don't have any organs. Later.